We're a month and a half away from the playoffs beginning, and with about 7 to 8 games left to play, I can't remember a time when the league was this exciting. If we take a look at the standings, we can see that Södertälje, after last night's loss against BC Luleå, are currently out of the playoff picture. So let's take a look at position 6 through 9 in the table right now, because that is, in my opinion, the teams that will be fighting to really make the playoffs. And these 4 teams, Nässjö, Södertälje, Köping and Uppsala, can all potentially slide out of the playoff picture. Starting off with Nässjö, a team that came into the season with championship aspirations, have not yet really found their rhythm. They've had some injuries and players leaving during the season, which of course has had an impact. Currently, as you can see, Nässjö are in the 6th place of the table, ahead of Köping, Uppsala and Södertälje by at least 2 points, and Nässjö have also played 1 game less than the 3 other mentioned teams. If we look at Nässjö's race to the finish line, they only have 3 games against teams that are positioned higher than them in the table. They have 2 home games and 1 away game against the other teams positioned 6 through 9, and they also play Kalmar and Fryshuset, the 2 bottom teams of the league. Moving over to Köping Stars, my favorite. They too have had a very different season than they expected, with a long losing streak that seemed to last forever. But now they are back after a sort of swing win against Norrköping Dolphins at home. So who knows, maybe things have started to turn around for Köping Stars. The last 7 games of Köping's final stretch of the season comes against 4 teams that are currently positioned higher than them in the rankings. 2 games are away games against top dogs Borås and also Nässjö, the 6th place competitor, and also 2 games against Norrland powerhouses Umeå Basket and BC Luleå. But Köping has the benefit of playing both Uppsala and Södertälje at home, and also have a game against Fryshuset Basket. Uppsala Basket comes off 2 really strong wins here just recently, and they have also picked up SBL legend Axel Nordström, which will be really interesting to follow during these last 7 games for the team. With that said, Uppsala is, in my opinion, the team out of these 4 that has the by far toughest schedule coming up for these last 7 games. Uppsala will play 4 away games during this stretch against teams that are positioned higher than them. They will play against Köping, Luleå, Borås and Nässjö. They also end the season with playing the 2-time champions Norrköping Dolphins at home. In other words, many things have to go right in order for Uppsala to clinch that final 8th spot in the playoffs. Last but not least, we got the home team, Södertälje, who currently find themselves outside of the playoff picture. The team that dominated the league for years is just a memory of the past, and this season definitely marks the end of an era if Södertälje does not make the playoffs. What speaks in Södertälje's favor when we look at their last 7 games of the regular season is that they only play 2 teams that are far ahead in the table. They play Jämtland away and Borås at home. They also play at home against Nässjö and Umeå Basket, and they do have 2 away games left, which are against, last spot for the playoff competitors in Köping and Uppsala. They finish off the season during this 7-game stretch also with a game against Fryshuset Basket, the winless Fryshuset Basket, we must add. The question is, who of these 4 teams will capture the 3 last playoff spots in this year's league? My picks are Nässjö, Köping and Södertälje. I think those 3 teams should make the playoffs and probably will make the playoffs. Although I do think that Uppsala Basket has made a heroic effort this year, especially considering that they lost Victor Gaddefors, former MVP of the league, probably would have been MVP of the league this year would he have stayed. Mid-season anyway, they lost Victor to the Netherlandish league. With that said, yeah, I think Uppsala will have a tough stretch this year to finish off the season, but you never know. Fingers crossed, I guess. So with that said, thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think. Who will capture the final 3 spots of the playoff?